everyone, today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how to make a smart doll apron including the pattern. So here's the apron that I've made. Here's my Lorelei wearing her apron. You can see it fits perfectly. This one I've done in Thanksgiving fabric. Very pretty. And this is what the apron looks like, not on the doll. Today I'm going to just do a plain white one because I have two Thanksgiving ones already, so it can be done in any fabric really. So to make your pattern you need a 3 by 3 inch square. This is for the top. And you need an A4 piece of paper folded in half. And you cut it in half so you've got the bottom half. So draw your 3 by 3 inch square and cut that out. That will be for the top. And then for the bottom part, the bottom of the pinny, use half a sheet of A4, fold it in half. And then round off the corner. So just cut it into a curve, that corner. There we go. So you end up with a curved pinny instead of a square one. If you want a square one, don't cut it into a curve. So that is your pattern. The next thing we need to do is cut out our fabric. I'm going to be using plain white. So you can either pin your pattern to your fabric and cut it out, or this is what I do. I draw it on. So there's my bottom part, and then my top 3 by 3 inch square next to that. You can pin it on and cut it out if you want to. If you don't want to mark your fabric with pen, you won't see the edges anyway, they'll all be folded over. So I'm going to do it with a pen because it's just easier, I think. Then cut out your fabric pieces. So there's the bottom of my apron and there is the top. The next thing I'm going to do is zigzag all the way around the edge of both pieces of fabric. So I'll do that on my sewing machine. You can also use fray stop, or if it's a fabric that doesn't fray, you don't need to use anything. And so I have zigzagged all the way around both pieces of fabric. As I say, you can finish it off with fray check. You could use pinking shears, or if you don't think your fabric will fray, you don't need to finish it off at all. The next thing we need to do is turn over the edges of our fabric. So we need to turn over 3 edges on the top. So just turn it over a tiny bit like that, all the way around 3 sides. 1, 2, 3 sides, leaving the bottom side unturned over. And then for the bottom part you need to do all the way around the curved edge, so down to the bottom there, around this curved bit, and back and around this other, round your other curve, up to the top, leaving this bit unfolded. So I'll do that now. Okay, so you can see that I've turned the edge of the pinny over on 1, 2, 3 sides, leaving the straight bit at the top just zigzagged. You don't need to turn that over. And then for the top part of the pinny, I've done the same. I've done 1, 2, 3 sides turned over, and the bottom part, this is where it will join onto the apron skirt. You don't need to turn that over. So now the next thing we need to do is gather this across here. It can be gathered on a machine, or you can gather it with a needle and cotton. I'll show you how to gather with a needle and cotton. So you need your cotton to be double, so make sure it's as long as you need it. So it needs to be at least as long as your piece of fabric that you're going to gather. Put a knot in one end. And then starting at the edge, across the top here that you haven't turned over, you're just going to do a running stitch. You're going to go in, out like this, all the way across, and that will gather up that fabric when you pull it tight at the other end. So all the way to the other side, and then pull your thread through, and you can see that if you pull your thread, the knot will stop it from coming all the way through, and it will gather up your pinny. Then we need to pin our gathered skirt to the top. And what I do is I pin one end and then the other end, and then I can make sure that the gathers are even in between. So I've pinned one end, I'm going to pin the other end, and then make sure that your gathers are even in between. There we go, and then we can pin the rest of that into place as well. Probably pin it on the gathered side so that you can see that you're not getting your gathers all twisted up and things. That's what I do, just how I do it. So if you don't have time to make your Smart doll or your BJD doll a Christmas outfit or a Thanksgiving outfit, you could make them an apron in Thanksgiving material or Christmas material or Easter material, and it really does look effective for the occasion. So I've got my pins in position, and now I'm going to stitch across here on my sewing machine. So there we are, I've stitched across there with a straight stitch. You can see that when you turn it round how effective that looks. So now the only thing we have left to do is put on our straps. So I'm going to put a ribbon across the middle and it'll tie around the waist, and then I'm going to put a little ribbon here and a little ribbon here, and it will tie around the neck. Although with the Smart Doll you could just put a loop of ribbon, as you can remove her head to put it on. So I'm just going to use white ribbon. If you want it to be fancier, you could add some lace. You could stitch some lace around the top. You could curve the top the same as you curved the bottom. You could put lace around the bottom. You could put little pockets on it. Yeah, there's no end to what you can do with it really. So I'm going to stitch my ribbon on across here like this. Make sure there's enough to tie up around the back. So let's just pin that into position. And that will hide your seam there. So I'm just going to stitch each side of the ribbon into place. And then, as I say, we've got your, let's just snip off the excess. And then for the top, I'm going to need a bit that will tie around her neck. So there we go. That should be long enough. So one piece of ribbon will be pinned here, and I'll just stitch across there a few times to hold it in place, go backwards and forwards, and then the same with the other side, pin it to the edge of the pinny, and stitch across to hold it in position. So I'm going to do that now. So here we are, there is our finished Smart Doll sized pinny. And you still have your pattern if you want to make one in a different fabric. So let's try it on Lorelei. I know it'll fit because it's the same pattern I've used before. Tie it round her waist first. Tie it round your doll's waist first. And then you can tie it around her neck. And there we have it, one Smart Doll pinny. So I hope that was useful to someone. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.